The story of Hachiko is more than just a tale about a dog. Based on true events, this story continues to inspire millions of people around the world, reminding us that true devotion exists. Hachiko was born on November 10, 1923, in Japan's Akita prefecture, near the city of Odate. He belonged to the Akita Inu breed, one of the oldest and most revered breeds in Japan. These dogs have accompanied samurai, guarded noble households, and were used for hunting over the centuries. In Japanese culture, the Akita symbolizes loyalty, strength, and nobility. The breed is so meaningful that in Japan, it is customary to give an Akita figurine as a gift to wish someone good health and happiness. Such statues are often given to newlyweds or parents of newborns. In 1924, Professor Hidesaburo Ueno, a professor at the agricultural department of the Imperial University of Tokyo, decided to get a dog. A highly respected academic, he lived a strict and orderly life but longed for a loyal companion. A friend gave him an Akita puppy, and the professor named him Hachi, which means 8 in Japanese, as he was the professor's 8th dog. Later, out of affection and respect, the suffix ko was added, and the dog became known as Hachiko. From the very beginning, the bond between Professor Ueno and Hachiko was strong. The dog followed him everywhere and quickly became more than just a pet. He was a beloved member of the family. Every morning, Hachiko would walk with the professor to Shibuya Station, one of Tokyo's major railway stations, and see him off to work. Then, precisely at 3 p.m., Hachiko would return to the station to greet his master. This became their daily ritual. Locals and passers-by couldn't help but notice the white dog patiently waiting for his owner. It became a familiar and touching sight in the neighborhood. A dog faithfully waiting at the station entrance, eyes scanning the crowd. On May 21, 1925, Professor Ueno suddenly died of a cerebral hemorrhage while giving a lecture. He never returned to the station and never reunited with the dog who loved him so deeply. But Hachiko, who was just 18 months old at the time, continued to come to Shibuya Station every single day at the same time, waiting to see his master's face in the crowd. Rain or shine, heat or snow, he waited. At night, he would sleep on the porch of the professor's former home, from which he had already been taken away. But he always returned. Local residents were moved by the dog's behavior. Many began to feed him, bring him water, and offer him shelter during bad weather. Hachiko became a beloved fixture in the community and eventually across the country. In 1932, one of Professor Ueno's former students wrote a heartfelt article in Tokyo's largest newspaper titled, "Faithful Old Dog Waits for Master, Who Died 7 Years Ago." The article sparked nationwide emotion. People from all over Japan traveled to Shibuya to see Hachiko. The story touched millions of hearts, and Hachiko became a living symbol of the Japanese philosophy of giri, duty, loyalty, and honor. As years passed, Hachiko's health declined. Still, despite his age and illness, he continued to appear at the station every day. On March 8, 1935, Hachiko passed away at the age of 11. He was found on a street near Shibuya Station. An autopsy revealed that the cause of death was stomach cancer and filariasis, a parasitic infection. Several yakitori skewers were found in his stomach, sparking rumors of poisoning, but these were unconfirmed. On April 21, 1934, a year before his death, a bronze statue of Hachiko was erected at Shibuya Station. Hachiko himself was present at the unveiling, one of the few instances in history where a living animal attended the dedication of its own monument. During World War II, the statue was melted down for military purposes, but in 1948, it was rebuilt. The statue still stands today and is not just a tourist attraction, it's a cultural landmark. In Japan, the phrase "let's meet at Hachiko" is commonly used to arrange meetings. The statue is a well-known rendezvous point. Every year on March 8th, a ceremony is held at the statue in Hachiko's honor. People bring flowers, letters, and offerings, a moving tradition that reminds everyone of the power of love and loyalty. Hachiko's story has inspired countless works of art and media. In 1987, a Japanese film titled The Story of Hachiko was released. In 2009, an American adaptation, Hachi, A Dog's Tale, starring Richard Gere, brought the story to a global audience. In 2023, China released its own version, My Hachiko, reimagined within Chinese culture. Hachiko's preserved body is kept at the National Museum of Nature and Science in Tokyo, while part of his ashes were buried beside Professor Ueno at Aoyama Cemetery, so they could be together forever. The story of Hachiko is not merely about a dog. It reflects the depth of human emotion. We see in him what many long for in life: unconditional love, patience, faith, and hope. What makes Hachiko's story so powerful is not just his actions, but how deeply people have identified with his quiet strength. In a world that often rewards speed, efficiency, and logic, his patience defied modern values. And that defiance became beautiful. Over the years, psychologists and philosophers have studied the story of Hachiko as an example of attachment theory, grief, and unresolved longing. While animals cannot speak, their behavior often expresses feelings we recognize as deeply human. Hachiko's daily routine of waiting wasn't simply instinct. It was memory, routine, and emotional connection. This emotional connection extends beyond species. People who have lost loved ones often say that they see a part of themselves in Hachiko, waiting for someone who may never return, yet unable to stop hoping. In Japan, where respect, loyalty, and duty are cornerstones of cultural identity, Hachiko's legacy resonates deeply. His story is taught in schools, referenced in literature, and even commemorated in pop culture. There are children's books, poems, and songs written about him. Hachiko also represents mono no aware, a core concept in Japanese aesthetics, which reflects the beauty of impermanence and the sadness of passing time. Watching Hachiko wait day after day, year after year, captures this emotion perfectly, a quiet melancholy that is neither tragic nor dramatic, but deeply touching. In recent years, Hachiko's tale has been embraced not just in Japan, but worldwide. Statues of Hachiko have been erected in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, where parts of the 2009 film were shot, and in Odate, his birthplace. In 2023, Tokyo's University of Agriculture even unveiled a statue of Hachiko reunited with Professor Ueno, showing them joyfully together again at last. Even in online spaces, Hachiko is remembered through artwork, stories, and heartfelt comments from people across cultures. The image of the dog waiting at the station has become a symbol used to represent hope, loyalty, and emotional endurance. Perhaps what makes Hachiko's story truly timeless is that it teaches us without speaking. In an age where love is often conditional, transactional, or rushed, Hachiko reminds us of a kind of love that simply is steady, quiet, faithful. It asks for nothing. It expects nothing. It endures. Many people who have lost someone, whether through death, distance, or separation, find healing in Hachiko's example. He shows that waiting itself can be a form of love, and that love can exist even when the person we love is no longer present. His story encourages us to reflect: who or what do we wait for in our lives? What are we loyal to, even when it's difficult? Do we have the strength to stay true, even when there are no guarantees? Hachiko's image has inspired not only films but also paintings, murals, sculptures, and literary works. In Japanese haiku and tanka poetry, Hachiko's patient form at the station has become a poetic image symbolizing devotion beyond time. Artists often use the lonely figure of the dog beneath the setting sun as a metaphor for eternal waiting. In music, composers have written orchestral pieces and ballads in his honor. Street musicians in Tokyo sometimes perform songs about him near Shibuya Station, drawing small crowds who pause, listen, and remember. Even in fashion and design, Hachiko's silhouette appears on t-shirts, accessories, and station merchandise. Not as a trend, but as a quiet statement of meaning. Today, the Hachiko exit at Shibuya Station is more than a subway gate. It's a place of pilgrimage. Tourists and locals alike line up to take pictures with the statue, often laying flowers or small dog toys at its base. People bring their own pets there, as if paying tribute to the spirit of loyalty. Some couples even propose marriage at the statue, honoring Hachiko's memory as a blessing for enduring love. There is also a small museum in Odate dedicated to Hachiko and the Akita breed, where visitors can learn more about his life and legacy. The exhibits include photos, letters, newspaper clippings, and personal artifacts that belong to Professor Ueno. Hachiko never spoke a word, never wrote a book, and never performed what we might call a heroic deed. Yet his quiet presence and unwavering routine touched more lives than most ever will. Through his example, he proved that love is action, and loyalty is not a feeling. It is a life lived in waiting, hoping, and believing. And though he was just a dog, his legacy lives on as a universal symbol of faithfulness, etched forever in the hearts of people all around the world. In an age of instant communication and fleeting relationships, Hachiko's story stands as a reminder that the most important things in life are connection, devotion, and love. Qualities that endure even in silence.